disposable world, essential items of lasting beauty are increasing in worth. Experience the fulfillment of creating heirlooms for succeeding generations with your own hands.
I'm Caleb Nolan. I'm a blacksmith here at Heritage Forge and a teacher at Plowshare. Today we're going to take you through the procedures of making a simple pair of blacksmithing tongs. Tongs are a pair of tools that every blacksmith needs. Pretty much need one for every size of stock you're going to be working with, every shape. At some point in your work, you're going to find yourself having to hold on to 2,000 degree steel, and that's where tongs come in. So tongs today. Tongs are a tool that blacksmiths can't have too many of. Tongs have a lot of different shapes and sizes. You pretty much need a pair of tongs for every size of steel and shape that you're going to be working. Stock sizes we're using today is 1/4 by 3/4. This will make some nice light duty tongs. It's a little thinner, so it'll be a little easier to work. If you want to use 3/16 by 3/4, that'd make a little heavier duty pair. We'll just start with marking here. Mark 1.25 inches from the end, and then another inch from there. The first 1.25 inches will be the jaws of the tongs, and then the inch will be the boss. We're going to mark these on both sides. One mark on one side, one on the other, and that will be an offset for the jaws. Will be this here. We're going to make a step here and a step here, so we'll be working opposite sides of the bar to make that. The tongs are made out of 3 pieces of metal. We have the right and left sides, and the rivet that'll be the pivot point for the tongs. So they'll kind of be a scissor motion. There's basically 3 parts to the tongs. We've got the jaw, the boss, which is the pivot point, and the reins. And both sides of the tongs are identical. You don't have a right and left. They're identical, so when they go together, they fit. Tongs we're making today will be flat jaws for square or flat stock. They could easily be modified in the jaw, though, to hold round bar or any other size. When we heat the steel, we won't be able to see the soapstone mark, so we'll center punch that mark. We'll be able to see when the steel's hot. Make sure you get a good punch mark there that you'll be able to see through all the mill scale. (2,850 degrees will melt steel, but we want to be pretty close to that. 1,000, 2,500, about right. See the center punch mark right there? We're going to line it, that mark right on the corner of the anvil. Do a half face hammer blow. Hammer's half on the anvil, half off. We'll flip it over. See the mark there? Right on that one. Do the same thing. You want to tip it up pretty good so you're getting almost 45 degrees on the anvil. I'm going to go to drawing the reins now. You can see, to draw out, we're using the corner of the hammer and the corner of the anvil together to pinch the steel down. We're penetrating the steel much deeper that way so we're going to be pushing the metal much faster. And we'll come back, bring the steel back into a original dimension and the thickness. You want to keep the steel hot. You don't want to work the steel once it gets below a dull red color. You're just not going to be able to work the steel much after that point. See, we're going for a long taper from the boss all the way down. So you have to kind of gauge as you're drawing the amount of taper you'll be putting on each section. Break the corners just to take away the sharp edge, give it a nice feel in your hand. And planishing, just smoothing steel, removing the big hammer marks. I'm leaving a little piece on the end there. This is going to be a little ball at the end of the tongs, kind of be something for your hand to go up against and give you a little more grip so you don't drop the tongs. We'll hammer this little end in the vise. It'll be a lot easier to get these corners. You start with your jaws to your vise close to the size you need. You don't have to spend so much time trying to get ready once your steel's hot. Just finishing up, rounding that, and again we'll break all the corners and planish. So we've got them both drawn out now. Just want to make sure they're same to this point. This one here is a little short, so I'm going to draw this ring out just a little more. Make sure the same now. Now we'll punch the eye of the boss. Punch the hole for the rivet. We'll use the center punch to mark the center. The slitter has a slight angle, the point, and we'll orient that right in our center punch mark with the slitter going the length of the tongs. We'll drive that through, and then we'll put the drift, which is round, so that we've got our slot going this way. When we drive the drift, it's going to be expanding the eye this way, so we'll have an even amount of metal all the way around the eye of the boss. Start with the slitter, line it up right in that center punch mark I made there. Orient it so that the slitter is going the length of the tongs, so when we drive the drift through, it's going to open that up. I don't want to go all the way through because the anvil is hard and it'll dull my slitter. So when I get ready to go through, I'll use this piece of brass, and it's soft and it won't dull. So I went almost all the way through the first time. Now I can see on the back side, there's a little shiny spot. I'll orient my slit right in the middle of that. Go to the brass and go through. I can feel when that goes through. I'll turn it over. Go through the other way. Got my slot. Next heat, I'll drift it. I want to make sure the drift is going to go all the way through and not get stuck before we start with that. We'll go most of the way through on this side. Just move that around the hardy hole, or the percher hole rather, so I don't get one side pushed down more than the other. Once it cools down, knock it out, and I'll drive it through the other side. I'll finish driving the drift all the way through. And we've got the finished hole. Now we'll twist the jaw. Make sure you're right at the top of the boss. Very important that you twist both jaws the same way. These will be identical. Now we just want to smooth that twist out. What we're looking for is for this side to be straight all the way along, be offset to that side. got both pieces done individually, you can see they're identical, so we don't have a left and a right. So they'll go together. And now we'll rivet them. Now we'll pack down the coal so the rivet doesn't fall down in and we lose it. Put them together. Make sure you get them together right. Oh, not that way. I like to finish out my rivets with some nice hammer blows there. So if you did it right, it should be stuck tight together. And now we'll heat them up and get everything lined up and free them. Clamp these in the vise. That'll line up the reins. And then we'll just make sure everything lines up and it's straight and is adjusted. We'll loosen them up now. Then we want to adjust them for the size material we're using. This is 1/4 inch here. Clamp that in the vise. We want the reins to be about 1.5 inches apart. Whatever is comfortable to your hands. You don't want it too wide or too close. Cool it off. We want to work it as we're cooling, otherwise it'll get stuck again. There you go. That's it. They're done.